Hey there, guys. All right, today we are back with some more Blue Jay, and today, absurd historical fashion that needs to come back. I'm probably gonna say no, none of this fashion needs to come back. But anyways, before we dive in, make sure you go and check out the links in the description box below. I would love it if you joined the Discord and followed me over at Twitch. Also, please do go check out my gaming channel here on YouTube, where I am uploading old Twitch streams. Yada yada yada. Really got nothing else to add here at the beginning. Let's just dive straight in.
Fashion is riddled with rules and laws that are seemingly nonsensical, but are often followed more rigorously than real ones. For example, you may see a man commit armed robbery, but heaven forbid he does it with a pair of Skechers on. 20 to life is not a problem, but can you imagine how it would feel to be socially ridiculed? I sure can't, not me. Gee willikers, that sounds terrible. Take the phrase, sometimes, always, never. No, this isn't a game of smash or pass, or a sorority girl listing her liquor preferences. It's the rule that stipulates that the bottom button of a suit jacket should never be fastened.
Correct. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because it makes the... Like, why does it exist if you're never going to button it, right? But, like, there's just something about the look, right? Like, you know, the bottom one, like, makes it look more... It makes you look more boxy. I think you want to look boxy.
Today it seems second nature, but where did this...
Bro, Obama killed that tan suit, dude. That's fucking drip.
Seemingly common sense rule originate? Is it a remnant of some old custom? Perhaps it has its roots in a unique cultural tradition? No, King Edward VII was just too chonky to fit that gut in, so everyone followed their king's half-dress style like good little peasants.
Yeah, but it does look better than if you button the bottom. It just looks better.
Except for me, I leave the top button undone because I follow a different king and also ew British. But the jacket
Facts.
button rule is pretty mild.
This is why I love BlueJay. He is also disgusted by the British the same as me.
Then only the tip of the fashion trend iceberg. And oh boy, how deep and bizarre does this iceberg go. So today, we're gonna take a deep dive.
I like how Crocs were at the very bottom.
Into some of the most absurd trends, styles, and fashion throughout history. Again.
BlueJay fashion tip number 1. Join my Patreon.
Why don't you kick us off, Benjamin? Got a favorite fashion era in history? I'm a big fan of mid-1900s German fashion. Okay.
Oh no.
I'm gonna try not to read into that. But alright, well, mid-20th century Germany saw a more, authoritarian style of fashion. You've got tailored suits, drindle dresses, and nothing was more popular than a massive hole in your chest cavity. What? Oh, you didn't know? All the cool drafted boys were wearing it. The style was best achieved by facing a Russian T-34 on the Eastern Front. But unfortunately for you, that method isn't around anymore. So if you want to achieve this fashion and be one of the cool kids, I recommend playing World of Tanks. World of Tanks is a free-to-play PC game where you can toy around with a massive arsenal of all kinds of... You go get 'em, champ. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. It's Victorian London, and a contagion is spreading. Street by street, town by town, women can be seen struggling as they try to walk down the road, their stride impaired by an awkward limp, many supporting their weight on canes. But what is rather peculiar is that it seems only wealthier women are affected by this illness. And wait a minute, polio isn't a thing yet, and these hoes are smiling. So, as the British would say, what's all this then? Well, to understand
Right, what's all this then? What's going on here on a Tuesday? Oh, bruv.
Understand this limp, let me introduce you all to Alexandra of Denmark. The Princess of Wales was a 19th
Her Highness Princess Alexandra of Denmark, Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandra of Denmark, Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales, Her Majesty the Queen.
Century fashion icon who enjoyed the exceptional adoration of the public. She was radically stylish, a big charity worker, the second hottest Alexandra in history, and a lifelong hater of
The Prussian conquest of former Danish lands heightened Alexandra's profound dislike of the Germans, a feeling which stayed with her for the rest of her life.
Germans. so all around pretty based. This meant that whatever the royal did, the masses would blindly follow like a 19th century K-pop star. Wearing a radical new dress style, the people did too. Choker covering a childhood scar? Why not? Hold my leash. Life-threatening rheumatic fever, leaving her with a permanent limp? Count me in, I love Forrest Gump. That's right, Alexandra's influence on fashion was so strong that it transcended just petty physical garments to include physical ailments as well. So not long after Alexandra began limping in public, were London's fashion followers seen waltzing down the streets like they were covered with Legos. In their best attempt to come off as quirky little cripples, women would stumble about with canes, and even go as far as wearing different sized shoes for a more authentic handicap. Oh, Edward, I absolutely adore your limp. Tell me, how do you pull it off? I have cerebral palsy. Oh, I must inquire my cobbler about that brand. And your cane is just adorable. While at first the style was more DIY in nature, the more cunning shoemakers came to realize that there was a golden opportunity to make a fat stack. So they began selling shoes with different sized heels to help the upper class's biggest fashionistas achieve that oh so desirable crippled stride. Here we have some of my finest work. Oh, how beautiful! You've outdone yourself, Henry. Now, madam, I noticed as you strode in that you partook in the limp, is that right? Why, yes, I'm delighted you've noticed. It's quite remarkable. Reminds me of my nephew's stride. Oh, stop it. You are quite the charmer. I did watch a few struggling children from my carriage the other day to study it. They're quite adorable. Yes, he died a few months ago now. Anyway, I wanted to see if you'd be interested in our limited edition upgrade to these fine pair of shoes you've selected. Using some precise and refined craftsmanship, we can perform a modification on these for even more authentic limp. Oh, please, Henry, I must stay up to date on fashion. Yes, of course, of course. 1 moment, please.
Fuck.
That'll be 200 pounds. Like most trends, the Alexandra limp came with its fair share of critics, as multiple news outlets would often
The
denounce
stanky leg is back. The bloody hell these wankers doing? Wobbling around with those big dumb smiles on their faces. Back in my day, the only time it was acceptable for a woman to be limping was after a rock beating when the dunce burnt me toast. What the fuck? British.
the practice with some rather colorful language. I don't know how exactly the aristocratic woman responded to the criticism, but I'm sure they had plenty of time to think about it as they staggered their way down to the printing press. It's not a phase!
It's not a phase, Mom.
But it was a phase, and one that died quicker than The Witcher show's fan base.
Oh my god. Yeah, literally, I really don't understand what's going on with The Witcher. Like, I don't understand how it got. Like, here's the thing. I don't know what's making these decisions. It's just the showrunner for the Witcher series. She also was a part of the Witcher animated movie that came out, and the Witcher animated movie was really good. I mean, it wasn't like amazing, but like it was for its own. Like, I always believe that when you look at adaptations, you gotta separate them from the book, right? You just gotta completely divulge yourself. Like, you are going in for a different experience here, right? There are some things that you can be like, well, this, right? Like, the mediums are different, right? So there are changes that are going to have to be made. So you should just, by and large, just try and just separate them. Now, of course, the decisions that were made in Witcher Season 2 and Season 3 are just shit decisions, no matter what kind of form. Like, even if this weren't an adaptation and were an original IP, the decisions made in Season 2 and Season 3 would still be completely stupid decisions and not good television. Same with Blood Origins. Oh my god. But like the animated TV show with fucking Vesemir's Origins or whatever, that was good. That was really good with the attack on Kaer Morhen. That was a really good fucking animated show. Animated watch. But like they're how do you I
Thankfully, fashion is like a pendulum, so I'm sure whatever trend that followed proved to be much more practical and mild. Ah, shit. Our next fashion staple takes place a few hundred years back in medieval Europe. You know what? I need an audience. Ah! Say, Tim, you know those medieval paintings with dudes wearing pointy shoes like they're doing a Shrek 4 cosplay? Can you guess why those are popular? No, the radiation stuff is done! You're supposed to leave me alone now! Close. Actually, the shoes were named kipples, after the mythical hag from Polish folklore Skosi Kippel, known for breaking into people's homes to smear wax all over their cooking utensils. So people wore these pointy shoes to mock Skosi Kippel's abnormal feat, believing that the trickster would be so offended that she would crawl back into her hut with her mood for trickery completely ruined. Really? No, that's stupid. Why would you believe that? They were just some sick-ass pointy shoes. You don't need an excuse to be that stylish. These long-tipped kicks ruled the world of fashion in medieval Europe between the 12th and 15th centuries. And while they weren't named after that mythical creature I pulled out of my ass, they were named after something equally miserable. Poland. Specifically, the shoes were named Krakows after the city in Poland where the fashion's popularity originated. The long-toed shoes were worn by both men and women. However, it was the former who took the fashion to the extreme. Most toes weren't more than half the length of the shoe, but the rich could don tips as long as 20 inches, and the even wealthier were said to have their little piggies stretched so long they had to get tied up at the shin just to be able to walk, all fighting the proof that they had the longest and girthiest shoes. As for why they were popular, I mean, come on, isn't it obvious? Foot daggers. No. But points for creativity. They were popular for the same reason that people wear fanny packs. Raw sex appeal.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. I mean, come on, look at my boy here, looking like he better moonwalk his way down to ye old tavern to pick up some fair maidens. They were truly worn for all occasions, and while they didn't hide a hidden blade like some Assassin's Creed leprechaun, people did wear them into battle to make them grippers look as dangerous as possible.
What the fuck?
Knights of the Duke of Austria, Leopold III, often wore Krakows on horseback. However, in one engagement, they had to dismount to fight on foot, so they were forced to cut off the tips of their shoes and toss them in a huge pile so they could run around and get to stabbing. Alright, let's get a killing. Gary, you coming? Gary?
Oh.
Krakows ultimately fell out of
God damn it, man. BlueJay's humor is my humor.
style in the 1480s. It's unfortunate that the style didn't last a few more centuries. I would have loved to see Cinderella with glass Krakows instead of slippers. No, that's not right. There we go. Today you can still find Krakow-inspired boots called Winkle Pickers, which sounds like some Hulu knockoff version of the Peaky Blinders, so it checks out that they're from England. But over on the other side of the pond, these pointy kicks went by a much more refined name. Roach Stompers. While the origin behind the name might seem rather obvious, I prefer my headcanon. Those are some mighty fine boots, Pa. Why, thank you, son. They're about the only good thing to come out of that tea drinker country since the white flag. But I just can't wrap my head around this name of theirs. Winkle Pinkles, Whippersnappers, Fickle Pickles. Dag nabbits, I needs to call them something different. But Finkelwinkles might not be for everyone, so if you're looking to crank that eccentric dial to the max, there's always Mexican pointy boots.
Oh my.
Pineapples are known to evoke a lot of emotion from people, from pure joy when asked who lives in one under the sea, to utter hatred when seen placed upon a cheesy grease wheel. So it shouldn't be too surprising to learn that, back in the day, these little prickle cones went for as much as $8,000 in today's money. The popularity of pineapples originates in 1493, when Italian explorer Christopher Columbus discovered the little tree fruit on the Caribbean island of Guadalupe. Welcome to our island. We are pleased to— Wow! Such vivid colors! What zesty flavor! Ah! Oh, and a little bit of bite as well. What a majestic and dangerous muse you are. I can't believe I discovered this. I am the first human being in all of time to lay eyes upon this sour delight. I shall call it the Pina de Indies. Excuse me, but
It's pronounced master.
everyone was crazy for these spiky delights. Though given how far they had to travel to reach Europe, typically only nobility and monarchs were able to get their grubby little paws on them. Some of the wealthiest even built greenhouses to mimic the tropical conditions required to grow pineapples. King Charles II was so infatuated with the fruit that he went as far as to commission a literal painting showing his gardener on his knee, presenting it with one glorious prickly boy. Which might seem like a bit much to you and me, but keep in mind this was before Instagram made flexing as easy as taking a pic on top of a 4-story parking garage in the Midwest. So they had to go all out. But with how desired, how lavish, and how revered these exotic fruits were, it would be a shame to merely eat them. Then your pineapple would be gone. How would everyone know how cool you were with your luscious fruit all hidden away inside your stomach? So in the American colonies of the 1700s, pineapples were used primarily as decorations, and were only finally eaten once they started going bad. People put them in centerpieces, they were shown off at parties. Forget the baby, there's no room for that clingy leech when you're busy taking your pineapple out for a stroll. Can't afford one? No problem. You could rent one. Make everyone think you're rich enough to be a pineapple boy. They were even sometimes protected with their own security detail. John, hey, your party is awesome! Thanks, man, thanks. Hey, if you want to see something really cool, come with me. Check out this bad boy. Holy shit, is that a pineapple? Yeah, dude, an American model too. None of that import trash. God damn, how many spikes is she packing? Why? Can't touch the pineapple, Ted. Outside of throwing tea in harbors, a pineapple was the ultimate colonial flex. So whenever there was an opportunity for a pineapple, then a pineapple there will be. Got a teapot? Now it's a pineapple. Building a dome? Why not a tropical one? How about a pineapple helmet? They didn't have pineapple helmets.
Oh.
But I think that's a hilarious missed opportunity. Pineapples were also the universal symbol of hospitality. Put it on a sign and it meant guests are welcome. When the sign was gone, it meant to get the hell out. And when it was upside down, well, that means they're swingers. But that's a topic for another video. On a different website. Fast forward to 1900 and along comes young industrialist James Dole, who was looking to kickstart large-scale pineapple distribution with a plantation in Hawaii. It was a huge success, and for many decades, James supplied upwards of 75% of the global pineapple supply. But for the world's upper class, this meant that not only were the middle class now able to get the spiky fruit, but by God, even the dreadful working class could too. So the esteemed status of the pineapple soon died off. Hello, Caroline. What do you think of this? Ah, yes. A pineapple. I just came from the market where Tom was buying a few. What? Tom the coal miner? The poor fellow? Well, yes, I suppose. Carrying a few pineapples just like yourself. James's company would go on to become the Dole Food Company, which is notable today for being a large fruit producer and disappointing you with fruit snacks that aren't the Scooby-Doo ones. As for Dole himself, his efforts in the pineapple business would later earn him the nickname the Pineapple King. And to that I say, what better crown than a pineapple helmet? Weird fashion too. 9 out of 10 stars.
And that was absurd historical fashion that needs to come back by BlueJay. I fucking love BlueJay, man. I got no words except praise here. This was fantastic. It was hilarious. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.